Let me, because this is a field hearing, officially call this hearing to order. This is the Environment and Natural Resources Committee of the United States Senate. It is chaired by Senator Jeff Bingaman from New Mexico. The ranking member is Senator Lisa Murkowski from Alaska. Both very effective and engaged senators who understand public lands issues, and I want to thank in particular Senator Bingaman for anointing me, if you will, today to chair this hearing. There will be a similar hearing in Santa Fe and in New Mexico, I think in just the next couple of days, dealing with this same very important topic. I have a statement I'd like to provide for the record, and then we're going to turn to the real stars of this hearing, which is this great panel that we've assembled here today. They will provide testimony, and then we will engage in a conversation over the next couple of hours. Again, I want to welcome all of you. I'd also second the Chancellor's comments. This is not a town meeting. There are, however, cards available that my staff have, Chancellor, that on which you all can direct questions and comments, and you can be assured your concerns will be considered as a part of the record and as we move forward in this important quest to return our forests to health, prevent catastrophic wildfires like the ones we've seen in Colorado and frankly all over the country this year. And I hope also find ways in which we can turn the biomass that's the reason, the excessive biomass in certain forms, that's the reason these fires have been so catastrophic, to economic uses as well. So again, good morning. It's, as I've said, a particular privilege to chair this field hearing here in my home state of Colorado. I want to thank the witnesses that have joined us and the University of Colorado Springs for their work and all the time, energy, and resources that went into making this hearing happen. There is a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. As I mentioned, all the statements today will go into the congressional record because this is a Senate committee hearing. I'd also like to recognize that we are here in Colorado Springs, a city and a community that experienced the Waldo Canyon fire, which is the most destructive fire in Colorado history. I was here when the fire was still burning to meet firefighters and displaced residents, and I know how much this community has suffered. The fire took 2 lives, destroyed 350 homes, and it displaced 32,000 people. It also has affected the entire city as businesses temporarily closed and some tourists canceled long-standing plans to visit the area. As everyone here is aware, the Waldo Canyon fire was just one of many fires burning across Colorado in this historic wildfire year. Twice within 3 weeks, we broke the previous record for the most destructive wildfires in our state's history. While big destructive fires like High Park and Waldo Canyon dominated the national news, there were fires burning in almost every area of the state, including the 14,000-acre Pine Ridge fire in Mesa County, the 10,000-acre Weber fire in Montezuma County, and the 45,000-acre Last Chance fire in Washington County. That pretty well covers the state, incidentally. My heart goes out to everyone affected by these fires, and my thanks goes out to all the firefighters, first responders, law enforcement, and National Guard military units who work tirelessly to protect us. In fact, how about a round of applause for all of those fantastic public service personnel. You know, I had no question, because I have direct experience of this, that Coloradans are driven, determined, and innovative. And today, in that spirit, I'm focused on moving toward solutions we can implement to improve the health of Colorado's forests and reduce the threat of catastrophic fires. Today, we will have an informative discussion on the wildfire challenges the West faces, as well as finding lessons that we can apply to future suppression, recovery, and mitigation efforts. Our forests are the backdrop and backbone to many rural and urban communities. They provide a wide range of benefits, including clean drinking water for millions of people across the U.S., vital wildlife habitat, jobs in the forest products industry, and a variety of recreation opportunities. But it's also well understood that our forests, regardless of their stewards, face significant threats to their overall health. More people in fire-prone landscapes, larger and more frequent wildland fires, long-term drought, the bark beetle outbreak and unhealthy landscapes have created a perfect storm. Wildland fires that continue to burn larger and require more resources to fight every year. Fire suppression now consumes nearly half of the U.S. Forest Service's annual budget. That's an astounding figure that should be an eye-opener to all of us. For a different outcome, we need a different approach, and we all do have a role to play. And in this case, the best offense, in my opinion, is a good defense. The same principle applies to wildfire. Wildfires are a natural phenomenon, but we can reduce their effects so that we can avoid catastrophic wildfires that damage property and take lives. It is catastrophic wildfires in the wildland-urban interface, not wilderness or roadless areas, that cost tens of millions of dollars to put out and hundreds of millions of dollars to recover from. I hope to use today's hearing to discuss what this best defense looks like, including both fire suppression and pre-fire mitigation. Last week, as the Chancellor mentioned, I led an after-action review with the top leaders of the U.S. Forest Service, the State Forest Service, and the military to discuss the total federal response to the Waldo Canyon fire. We concluded that these federal agencies largely worked well together. This was the first time a dual status commander was activated. A dual status commander allows National Guard personnel to command active duty personnel. If there are any military personnel in the room, you know how revolutionary that concept is, but how useful it is as well. And all participants agreed at this after-action review that having the single point of contact on the ground helped to streamline communication and the delivery of DoD assets. Another of my takeaways from the review last week is I'm going to take a close look at the Economy Act of 1932. Was that 80 years ago, Pam? To explore whether it should be modified for those extreme situations in which human health and safety are at imminent risk. I would welcome any and all input as I explore these policy issues. We are truly all in this together. Let me pose a couple of questions. As to pre-fire mitigation, where should we prioritize limited resources? What can we do to better partner with and support forest-related businesses? What can homeowners and property owners do to protect themselves? There are great examples out there where communities, businesses, and agencies are coming together to make positive things happen. Let me give you a couple of examples. Several home builders in the metro Denver area are using local beetle kill wood to frame new homes. The Coalition for the Upper South Platte, just up the road outside of Woodland Park, is leading a strong effort with the U.S. Forest Service, the National Forest Foundation, Denver Water, Aurora Water, Coca-Cola, and many others to restore the landscapes destroyed in the Hayman fire some 10 years ago. A business called West Range Reclamation, based in Hotchkiss, and the contractor for the state's first long-term stewardship contract, has partnered with the U.S. Forest Service to complete over 70,000 acres of forest improvement projects in 5 western states since 2001, creating 55 full-time jobs and subcontracting over 50 more. Colorado's second long-term stewardship contract was recently approved and will restore more than 1,000 acres a year around the town of Pagosa Springs. This project was led by a local businessman in cooperation in conjunction with the U.S. Forest Service and the local collaborative forest group. It will use the complete chain of forest products by developing a small sawmill and a biomass energy facility, reducing wildfire risk while also producing local jobs and clean energy. And right here in Colorado Springs, our very own Colorado Springs Utilities collaborates with the U.S. Forest Service to improve forest health conditions for critical water supplies, and has a cooperative agreement with the Colorado State Forest Service to manage nearly 16,000 acres of city-owned watershed lands. These examples show that proactive forest management done in the right way can have a whole constellation of benefits. You provide jobs to rural communities, you produce timber for homes and businesses, and biomass for renewable energy. In the process, you protect homes and other infrastructure. You can improve habitat for endangered species and other wildlife. you increase forage production for livestock, and you preserve watersheds that deliver much needed water to our irrigated fields, municipalities, and waterways. The point I'm making is that there's a lot of opportunity here. We've long known the Chinese have a symbol for crisis. That symbol is actually made up of two symbols. One symbol represents danger, the other represents opportunity. I think there's enormous opportunity in the danger and that we face and the tragedies that we've experienced. So again, I want to thank everybody for attending today. Let's move to the experts. I know you came to hear them, not solely the senior senator from Colorado. As long as you don't call me the senior senator, I mean the senior citizen, Pam, I'm going to be all right with that. But it's great to have everybody here.